Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. In the relatively recent past, thanks to Matt Fry, I was able to show you a format we'd never shown on the show before, which was Video 2000, or V2000. And thanks to Jeremy Goss spotting some Star Wars Video 8 stuff from Japan, and the DHL nightmare that followed, I was able to show you the Video 8 format. This time we're going to take a look at another format for Star Wars items, albeit not retail items, that we haven't seen before, which also gives us a glimpse into sort of the history of home video format development, particularly in this case the ones with Sony's involvement. Because we've already seen Betamax from Sony, which launched in 1975, and we've seen Video 8, which was launched partly through Sony in 1984. So the question is, well, what could this one be? Was it later? Was it earlier? We've seen Blu-ray also developed through Sony. This is actually the earliest one of the Sony home video formats that I think exists, or at least the earliest one that I am familiar with that actually kicked off in 1975. What is it? We're about to see. This item here is one we've actually looked at on the show before. It is a 1997 Star Wars Special Edition Trilogy press kit, electronic press kit VHS, that we looked at in episode 298. Probably recall this one, how it had basically, trailers on it, little clips that could be used if you're doing, news programs and wanted clips to show against your narration and that sort of thing. So we saw this back in episode 298. Well, it turns out there is another version of this 20th Century Fox audio-visual press kit that was available on a different format. A format that these days, or at least in those days, were primarily used just by television stations. It was a format that was developed by Sony to try to corner the home video market. Except it never really caught on for home viewing. And instead they were like, okay, well now let's try it again with Beta. And then as we mentioned before, they tried it again after that with Video 8. They really didn't become the dominant force in terms of a format they developed until Blu-ray much later went up against HD DVD. But prior to Betamax, they released a format in 1971 that eventually made itself an indispensable part of the television industry, but not home media. It's called U-matic. And this is the U-matic version of that VHS that we saw. Am I saying, that looks big? Damn straight it's big. VHS, U-matic. Holy crap, it's freaking enormous. Same image there to start with. This side says Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition, so I'm assuming that the piece on here did get torn off. Makes sense. Little bitty space to slip it into with paper basically hanging out of it. Okay. This is just a regular kind of clamshell, kind of standard case here, albeit, again, freaking enormous because it is U-matic. Now, again, inside, before we look at the cassette itself, we do have the content listings here, essentially the same as what we saw there with the VHS, right? So they print it out, they tape it to the inside. They also have a label on the cassette itself, just like the VHS had a label. But what does a U-matic cassette look like? It's this. This enormous thing here is a U-matic cassette. So it's got 20th Century Fox Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition Electronic Press Kit, C enclosed log, 3/4 inch NTSC dub, January 29th, 1997, W/O work order maybe, number 741782. VDI up there at the top. Presumably the company name. Okay, nothing on this side. This is what these look like. A U-matic. Hole so you can kind of see inside it. That's the flap covering the tape. I believe it's 19 millimeter tape. So it's a thicker tape than you would see in like a VHS or a Betamax player. But same content, but this is the kind of thing you would have seen as your format of choice in many cases if you were getting this for a television station rather than getting it on VHS. Because remember, this was promotional stuff primarily for outlets like television stations to use to promote the special editions. Now that is one that I found thanks to Richter, and I know Richter, I'm going to screw up your last name, Blacksman, if that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but Richter over there on the Star Wars home video group on Facebook. But even before coming across that one, there was another U-matic that I was pointed to by another member of the community over there, Matthew Hardesty. And in that case, it was coming out of the UK, where it was also used by television stations So we have another sort of behind-the-scenes, sort of television station-used type of U-matic here. This one is the Episode 1 trailer. So it has Globe Video Services, International Television Facilities, and Video Standards Conversion, Globe Video Services, and it gives its address and phone number, Hasbro Europe Lucasfilm Limited, Star Wars Episode 1 Theatrical Trailer B, PAL/low band U-matic from PAL/Beta SP, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Spine, same logo for the company, Hasbro Lucasfilm Star Wars Episode 1 Theatrical Trailer B, PAL/low band U-matic. Nothing else on here. Oh, God, these cases are freaking enormous. In this case, the label is basically paper, so it's starting to come off here. There's the spine, because it does have a label that carries over, but it's just paper that's been put on here. Has, I guess, a product number, perhaps, on either side. Maybe that's what that is. Similar design, of course, because the case itself, or the cassette itself, is going to be similar. It's a similar format, but notice the color differences there that makes it much easier to kind of tell the flap from the rest of it. And then essentially the same information that's there on the cover, just on a piece of paper turned into a label curved over to the other side. So this was the second of the theatrical trailers for The Phantom Menace on U-matic, provided to presumably TV station or for TV production in the UK, hence it also being noted as PAL. So for those who are really interested in getting something of Star Wars on every possible format that it existed on, well, no retail releases of Star Wars films on U-matic, of course, but there are U-matic items out there from behind the scenes, so to speak, when it comes to Star Wars. Electronic press kit type stuff, trailers and whatnot that you can find out there, hence the living proof of me being able to find two, or should I say Richter and Matthew being able to find two and point me to them. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.